Hey everybody, WILDMAN here. Now on today's episode, I'm going to be doing a strongman workout like I typically do. It's going to involve the bench press, and I get a lot of questions about whether or not strongman should be doing the bench press and including it into their training. Now there is a really big benefit to doing the bench press for strongman, but people want to know, should they do it on their shoulder pressing days as an accessory movement, or should they focus on it solely as its own workout within itself? So let's pop into today's workout, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing to incorporate the bench press into my strongman movements. Now on today's workout, I'm actually going to be doing the bench press, and later I'm going to be adding those chains. And I'm really just going to try to see where I can go from here. I really had a plan, but as you can see, I'm going to vary away from that plan. So stay tuned for that. And in between my bench pressing, I'm also going to be doing some rope climbs. I love doing this movement because it's really good for your grip and for your pulling strength and mimics a natural movement. And I'm also going to be doing some yoke walks where I carry the yoke from one end of the bullpen to another, which is about 15 meters. And for the strength giant set, I'm just going to leave that weight the same, but it's going to go up as I continue on with the different giant sets. And that's going to be the giant set for today. And like I said, I'm going to be adding chains as well. Now I get a lot of questions about the bench press because a lot of powerlifters or people in general that want to get into strongman, they kind of look online and they see that bench pressing isn't really on its own for a workout most of the time. Most of the time it's the back squat, the deadlift, and some type of overhead pressing, but it rarely adds the bench press in there as its own movement. It may add it for like an accessory movement, such as close grip bench press or incline bench press or bench press for reps. So it really depends. But as you can see, the way that I like to do things is I like to have bench press on its own separate day. And that's because I truly value what the bench press does for a total body movement and for total practical strength. Yes, if you were to do the bench press all by itself and only training to get good at the bench press, you would be very imbalanced trying to push somebody or trying to move somebody because your back is always being pinned down against a bench in a horizontal plane and never pushing something from a vertical plane. And so you're going to be off balance. But you can still use the bench press in order to get strong and to build practical strength. You just have to do other things with it and you'll be able to get the most out of it, and it will carry over into those other exercises as well, such as the overhead press. But it also carries over into the deadlift and to the back squat because that's a primary movement for push. And those other movements really involve your back, which are antagonistic. And so that makes you very well balanced all around as a human being and as an individual and as an athlete. Now I'm going to vary away from my plan that I had originally. I was supposed to hit 340 pounds total with equipment on, with the belt and wrist wraps. But I decided instead not to put any of that on and just to go for a 10-pound PR since my surgery. And this felt very good. A little slow through the middle, but it went super fast. So I was very pleased with how fast that moved, and it means that I'm just ahead of schedule. So I felt like that was a smarter thing to do on today's workout. All right, gym goers, so that went very well for me. So let's discuss what just happened. So just in case everybody's trying to do some gym math in their mind or on their calculator, this is a 45-pound barbell. And then these two red ones are 45 pounds as well. And then the yellow is a 25-pounder. And then those black ones on the end that are skinny are 15-pound weights. So the weight on the bar is 305 pounds. But these chains right here that are holding the drop-down chains, they each weigh 2.5 pounds, and they never decompress on the ground. So that adds another 5 pounds to this total implement as I'm lifting to 310 pounds. And then the drop chains on the bottom are 40 pounds total. So that equaled 350 pounds. And last time I did chains bench press, I tried to do 340 pounds total for 2 reps, raw with no belt, no wrist wraps, nothing to help me. And I missed that second rep. So the plan was to wear gear today and to hit 340 pounds with the gear. But as I got to my top set, I kind of thought to myself, I still feel like I'm rising in progression naturally, meaning I'm not wearing wrist wraps. These are sweat wraps, so they just catch sweat. That's all these do. They don't give any wrist support at all. and I didn't want to wear the belt. I wanted to see where I could go naturally and see how much I could hit. So I decided to throw on 10 pounds more the last time I did, and to go for a PR since my surgery. So now we're going to finish up the workout. You're going to notice that the weight on the bench press is going to go down in weight, but the weight on the yoke is going to rise continually as we go through each giant set. So let's pop in right now and finish this workout with a bang. Now for the variation giant set, I was keeping in the same giant set format, except I was going to add a little bit more weight to the yoke as I'm going up, but I was going to do the incline bench press. And the incline bench press is actually something that most strongmen do all around. They might do that as an accessory to their overhead press day, or they might even dedicate an entire day of just getting good at the incline bench press. Because the incline bench press is kind of that sweet spot where you're working your shoulders and your chest. And since the log is so cumbersome in size and its diameter, sometimes doing a standing incline bench press is the only way to get it up. And very famous strongmen right now that are breaking world records actually use that method and give a lot of credit to the incline bench press for being able to do that and to lift those heavy weights. So if you wanted to, you could actually dedicate a whole day to the incline bench press and get good at it, and it would carry over to the flat bench press and to your overhead press very nicely. Now the reason why I don't do that all the time is because I prefer to do the flat bench press and then to use the incline bench press to get better at the bench press and also get better at the overhead press as well. And that's just my preference, but there really is no right or wrong way to do this. I'm just giving you various options that you can do if you didn't want to do the flat bench press on its own separate day. The incline bench press is one of my favorite exercises to do, and I like to get stronger at it, and every once in a while I will test my 1 rep max. But because it isn't standardized in its bench height, some people believe an incline bench press is just 1 click up from a flat bench press, and other people believe that the incline bench press should be a lot higher than what I'm doing right now, like 1 click down from a seated shoulder press. So since there isn't quite a standardized way of doing this for testing, kind of like how the bent over row is with the barbell, it's the same concept. People really don't really know or can't standardize it, but they do know that it carries over into the flat bench press and to the deadlift very nicely. So that's why they do include those, and that's why they call them semi-compound movements. So a personal best on the chains bench press since my surgery, and also for the incline bench press, because 255 I haven't hit in a very long while, so that went excellent. Now for the assistance giant set, I was doing 3 rounds and I was doing hand release push-ups. And no, this is not cheating. This is actually a great variation push-up to do in order to get better at the bench press, so give that a try. And I continued to do my prone rope climbs as well, just to make it a nice even number. And then I was doing 3 rounds of 500 pounds on the Yukon yoke bar here. And that thing is swaying like crazy and was absolutely destroying my core and my legs. But because on the last round, everything was going so well, I decided to up the weight for my last round to 600 pounds. And it was tough, especially after doing all that benching and all that other stuff in between. This was really tough to do, but it went. And I was a bit wobbly there, as you can see. But the funny part was, after I was done, I kind of had to make sure that my central nervous system was able to reboot. And sometimes the best way to do that is just to lay on the ground and to accept that you did a great thing, but now you need to come to a Jesus moment and just relax. Well, that's about going to do it for today's workout. I'm really glad that I was able to bench 350 total on the bench and carry 600 pounds at least once within the same workout. And hopefully now you all have a better understanding of where the bench press can be fit into a strongman workout, or to build practical strength, or even in a powerlifting workout. Really appreciate everybody coming by, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.